everybody, and welcome to the NPC Entertainment. I think this is episode 3 or something. Our last one just never got uploaded, so that's pretty cool. But it's late at night for us. We're gonna hop into the football that happened this past weekend because there was football. Cody, how are you doing tonight?
Man, I am doing well, especially as a Broncos fan. We made a trade for probably, man, I don't even know how to describe the trade because, I mean, he's a great offensive mind, but I still think that we paid a little bit too much for him. But other than that, it's been a great day. It's been a great week. You know, we had some great slate of games that are happening this weekend, especially the Pro Bowl games. You know, everyone's excited for the Pro Bowl, am I right?
Yep. I have something to say. This past weekend was the worst weekend of playoff football I've ever watched in my life from the NFL. I think the first game, granted, this isn't the NFL's fault that all the 49ers quarterbacks got hurt. I mean, it's unfortunate. I think the Eagles still would have won the game. So 49ers fans, I wouldn't cope if I were you. The Eagles were driving on this number one defense like it was nothing. I think the Eagles would have won that anyway. But that Bengals Chiefs game, now I'm not one of these the NFL's rigged people. I don't think that by any means. But the NFL has a problem with officiating. Their system is flawed. It doesn't work. You need to hold these guys accountable. You can't just reward for good. You have to punish for bad, just like we do with players. Like they lose their jobs when they suck. Why don't refs? I'm gonna flat the reffing cost the Bengals the game. It did. Well, would they have won if they went to overtime? I don't know, but it cost them a chance It cost them their chances of winning went down way more because of the refs. That's you can't deny that. Even as a Chiefs fan, I don't think Chiefs fans can deny that. And this isn't me just saying this based on me despising the Chiefs. I think this is just genuine. Like that's just straight up how it is, in my opinion. What did you see?
No, yeah, 100%. I 100% agree with that. Like, there's just some calls that are just complete bogusness. Some Chiefs fans are going to cope right now, but especially on the Joe Burrow. Like, the one thing that just blew my mind, it was the Joe Burrow.
The intentional grounding?
Yeah, the intentional grounding, yeah. Samaje Perine, he's right there. The ball hits his feet.
Yep.
He is at the line of scrimmage, but because the ball may have fucking hit the ground maybe a quarter of an inch before
I don't
the
think
line
that
of
matters
scrimmage,
though, because there was a target. I've seen like Herbert throw to Eckler hundreds of times behind the line of scrimmage, like just to throw it away, and it's not called.
Exactly. And so it made no sense why that would be an intentional grounding call. Because an intentional grounding, it's huge. Not only does it count as an incomplete pass, but it's also a loss of downs.
Right.
So it completely screwed over the Bengals just outrageously. It really was. I mean,
Killed all the momentum. Yeah.
Bad.
That, and then there was the replay third down, which, yes, if you look at the replay, there was an official like running all the way from the end zone trying to stop. He wasn't blowing his whistle. You have to let that play ride. You fix the clock after the play. I mean, sure. I forget the linebacker's name that pushed Mahomes on that one penalty.
Oh, Aussie.
Yeah, sure, it was a little late. What else do you want him to do, though? It's not like he drilled him. It's not like he stood him up. It's not like he didn't extend it. He bumped his elbow into him because he was running.
And he tried to slow down, and he completely messed up his knee by doing that. And they still called the penalty. Yeah. And then you have Jermaine Pratt, the little pussy ass bitch who was cussing him out. And this is why he's not gonna have a job next year. Not only is he not a good linebacker, but he also fucked him over. And also, I don't know if you're watching it, when Isaiah Pacheco completely broke all the Bengals tacklers and led them to the first down right before the penalty. It was Jermaine Pratt who was one-on-one with the running back who couldn't lock him up. That's on you. I don't want to hear you bitching at Osai saying, "Oh, this is my last year. Why'd you touch the quarterback?" No, bro.
It wouldn't be your last year if you were good enough.
Wrap up on the fucking running back?
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be your last year if you were good enough.
Yeah, exactly.
They'd want to pay you.
Exactly. You're bad.
I don't know. This week, it really was. It was some of the worst football I've seen in both games for two different reasons. I mean, the game itself, I guess, wasn't bad, like for the Chiefs Bengals, but like considering it's so just frustrating, man. Like,
do you know what though? Now we have a good rivalry though between Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow, because now we have a series. It wasn't just a blowout where Joe Burrow was going to win 4 in a row. Now would they have 3 wins over him, or is it 2-1?
It's 1-3.
1-3. Yeah.
1-2. I don't know. It's close.
Either or. Yeah.
It's yeah. I mean, we do, but man, I don't know. It just wasn't fun to watch. It was just insanely frustrating, and I don't know how they plan to fix it. I don't know if they do know about it. Like I've heard like Schefter talk about it, and even Rappaport. Like the league knows what people are saying. When you have people that aren't like tinfoil conspiracist people talking about the NFL being rigged, that's when you have a problem.
Yep.
Like you're starting to have a high percentage of people genuinely think that it's like the WWE. And that is a massive issue. Like you need to fix this.
No, this is a serious problem right now in the league. Like especially with the refereeing, and I think this all really started getting bad. I don't know if you remember, but when the replacement refs came in,
yes,
after that,
2012 or 2014,
yeah, it was something like that. But after that, that's when all officiating has gone down the drain, and especially this year, it showed in numerous games, not just this game, but 100%. Games in the regular season. Like touching Tom Brady on the helmet was called as a roughing the passer, but the same player, was it Chris Jones, picked up and body slammed Russell Wilson, and they didn't call it.
Well, there was a thing like that. I don't remember if it was this game. I don't remember if it was this past week, but it was one of the past few weeks where one of the team's quarterbacks got hit a certain way and it was called, and then literally the next drive the other quarterback got hit the exact same way and it wasn't called.
Yeah, it was on Burrow Mahomes.
Yeah, was it? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's ridiculous. Like, and it's hard. Like if I was a Bengals fan, I get why they're saying it's rigged. Well, how could you not if you love the Bengals? Like with how that game looked, it looked like the NFL wanted the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. They got every call, like the Burrow versus thing you said, the Burrow intentional grounding, the Burrow non-call, and the roughing the passer where Mahomes got a better one. It like I understand why Bengals fans think that 100%. Like I would be doing the same thing if it was the Chargers in there. Like, and Chiefs would be doing the same thing if it happened to them. You have to call a fair game. This can't keep happening. I don't know if go to Skycam refs or something that you can quick review. Like I don't know. It's bad though.
I mean, maybe they're gonna start doing what the MLB started doing. You know,
right? Where you can take back the MLB hasn't. Either the balls and strikes are still on the umpire. That might change though in the future, but I don't know. I think it's a good thing. People are, especially in baseball, people are like, it takes out the human element. Good. I want to see a fair game. I don't want to ref deciding who wins.
No, yeah,
I mean, baseball is different because yes, the umpire can call balls and strikes, but the umpire can't call back a 500-foot home run. In the NFL, they can call back anything. Like a ref can change the game. In the MLB, yes, they can impact it a little bit, but not to the extent of the NFL at all. Like
no, because all it takes is right. Let's say you get a 98-yard passing touchdown, whatever, and then it all gets turned back because of a holding call.
Right, holding, which happens on every single play, and
it happens all the time.
Granted, like they need to define it better.
Anyone who's played in the trenches knows you are being held on every single play.
Well, an offensive lineman have to. Like, there's no other. Like, you have to. I think they have to define it better.
Yeah, no, they really have to change the way like the holding penalties are called. Not only that though, it's like, who was it? Max Crosby actually called out Joey Bosa today because Joey Bosa was like, "Oh, they were holding on every call. This and that." And Max Crosby was like, "Yeah, have you never played a game of football?
Well,
like,
Bosa was
just happens."
Oh, I don't think Cross may understand what Bosa was talking about, because Bosa was mainly talking about that ref that where Bosa just said something, not even directed at the ref, and the ref ran him down 10 yards, got in his face, yelled at Bosa, then Bosa said something back, and then the ref threw the flag.
Oh, yeah, and that's another problem. It's just refs hating players for no reason.
I don't know. They have a problem, and it sucks that that's what my takeaway of the weekend was. Like, I don't have any takeaways of the Chiefs-Bengals game matchup-wise, because I don't know. I don't think the Chiefs look better than the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals look better than the Chiefs. There's no takeaways.
I do have one big takeaway, and that is the Chiefs' defense surprised me. Like 100%.
Yeah. They did good.
Yeah, Spagnuolo's defense, they knew how to get to Burrow, put pressure on him, and force him to make stupid, decisions. He's still a young quarterback. He's gonna make stupid decisions.
Right. That I guess that would be one of my takeaways. I hope after this weekend we can stop acting like nothing affects Burrow. Like, every time I hear people talk about Burrow, it's like, oh, nothing shakes him. He had a bad game.
Yeah, he did.
People have bad games. It's okay. Let's stop acting like the dude never gets shaken up or anything. Like, he has bad games too. I don't know.
He had a very bad game.
100%. Now, the reffing didn't help him, but he still had a bad game.
He still had it was a 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, and like 216 yards, something stupid like that. Yeah. And I can't even say it was a terrible game. It was a bad game. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't good.
Yeah, I agree.
It was just a bad game, and a lot of it was throwing into double coverage because apparently that was the only guy who was open on a blitz.
Yeah.
Like, it's just stupid stuff like that.
Well, I think I would say maybe the Bengals were just out-coached. Andy Reid's the best coach in the NFL, in my opinion.
But no, 100%.
That's kind of just my only take. I mean, there's nothing to take away from the Eagle game either. The Eagles are the best team in the NFL, I think, and people have been calling them Mickey Mouse throughout the entire year. They just beat who they're given, bro. Like, they can't help who they're given.
No,
I'm sorry. It's not like they're choosing to play the Raiders or the Browns every weekend. Like, they're just taking who they're given, and they win.
You just beat who you play. That's what it is. I mean, if you get lucky where you're playing against a fourth-string quarterback in the NFC Championship game, I mean, you expect your number one defense to stop them, right?
Right.
And they didn't. It was embarrassing, And the podcast that we talked about, not like we talked in last week, which ended up getting uploaded, I mentioned that this 49er secondary is going to get fucked up.
Yeah, they did.
And they did. They got smoked. And not only in the passing game, but also in the running game. The minute that they got to the second level, all they had to do is box out Fred Warner, and it was game over.
There was the one catch that 49ers fans were talking about a little bit from Devontae Smith in, like, the first drive.
Yeah.
Where, like, he didn't catch it. But that, not on the refs. You got to challenge it. Like, the minute you see Devontae come up asking for a no huddle, why is the flag not on the field yesterday?
No, exactly.
You see the receiver jump up and say no huddle. Come on. Like, 49ers fans, sorry, you can't get mad about that. That's on your coach. That's not the ref. That's not a ref thing.
I don't even think it clicked in Shanahan's head what was happening.
I don't think it did. I think everybody, because it was, I mean, honestly, it was still an extremely talented play. Like, he grabbed it and he did pull it in. Like, yeah, it slipped out there at the end, but I mean, it still takes talent to do that. Like,
no, of course. And you got to think about it. When you're hitting the ground, you got your force of you and then the force of the other guy on top of you. That ball's going to pop out. It happens all the time.
On top of me. Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah, the Eagles just dominated. I mean, personally, if I was a 49er fan, what I would be pissed about, I would have I know they don't practice this probably. I would have much rather seen McCaffrey play quarterback and just do a bunch of options the rest of the game instead of Purdy coming in knowing he can't throw and just doing draw plays to Christian McCaffrey the entire game. Like, that was so predictable. At least put McCaffrey at quarterback so it throws some deception. Like, oh, is he going to give it to Deebo or is he going to hold on to it and run? Like, then you at least have to watch two things. Whereas when Purdy was just handing it off, then, I mean, we know what's gonna happen. Like we know you're
you
not.
know he was in pain too, hitting the ball off. I don't know if you were watching it, but he's just what he tore.
Yeah, you see, it's a pitcher injury.
Yeah,
pitchers are out for a year and a half when that happens.
The way you got to look at it is like your arm's like basically a rubber band. It's like snapping a rubber band in half.
Right, 100%.
Yeah, and it was so bad. I remember seeing it, and it's just that feeling when you whack your funny bone. I just felt it all through my body. It's like,
oh yeah, no,
it's not supposed to bend that way.
If you've ever watched baseball, if you've seen a pitcher throw, most of them know right away. Like when you see them throw and they immediately grab their, like they know what just happened. They know exactly what they tore, and it means they're out for a year. That's what. I mean, it's not that common. I don't know why it's not that uncommon in football. Like I know Roethlisberger had it.
Well, it's a different throw motion. You look at the way that Roethlisberger used to throw compared to a normal quarterback. It's completely different. Yeah, like you're using more of your shoulders and your waist when you're you put some power into it. Compared to baseball, it's all in the arm where you put the power from.
It's a shame Jaden isn't here to deep throat Trey Lance, because now there actually is a conversation I think to be had.
No, I think Trey Lance is going to start next year now because Brock Purdy's not going to
be ready. Yeah, and they're not sticking with Garoppolo. The coach already said that. He already said there's no chance. Just think of which I agree. Garoppolo is no good. He's no good. I'm sorry.
I think I know Garoppolo's going next year though. I'm willing to predict that.
New England Patriots.
No, I actually I'm going to the Bucks. And I don't think the Bucks.
God, that'd be such a dick suck move. He's just like up Brady's ass all the time. I think the Raiders.
I do like the Raiders too. I can see the Raiders.
As a Chargers fan, I love the Raiders for him.
Yeah, yep.
I love that fit. Just don't, Lamar Jackson. Please don't. Please don't go to Las Vegas.
Unless the Raiders choose to do a complete rebuild, which I highly doubt they're going to.
No,
I think you're going to put
their ego's too big. Yeah. They've never done a complete rebuild, and they've needed it for so long. Even that 1 year, what was it, 2015? They went 2-14 or 1-15. They before that whole offseason, they were trying to win. The Raiders don't try to rebuild ever. Their ego, they're like the Cowboys, but not as good, barely.
Yeah. It's the ownership. Are just
too big.
Al Davis, 100%. He's got an ego worse than his haircut.
Well, Al Davis is dead, but
you know what I'm talking about.
His son. Yeah. Bowl cut boy.
Yeah, the ugly. Looks like the troll from not troll. He looks like the fucking thumb kid from Puss in Boots.
The Raiders died with Al Davis, bro.
Yeah.
They have not been relevant since.
Nah. But how about this coaching carousel that's happened this week? Just out of nowhere, what was it? 3 coaching slots and offensive coordinator position filled. How do you feel about this? You know, Kellen Moore.
Well, yeah, I'll get there. But Texans, be excited. I think you have a bright future. Who else was it? I mean, obviously Peyton.
Panthers.
Peyton Broncos, I don't think is bad per se. That's a lot of future for a coach who won a Super Bowl off an onside kick. I don't know. I feel like he should have done a lot more. The Super Bowl was
31-17. You know that, right?
Right, but that was because of the pick 6 there at the end, and Sean Payton doesn't coach defense. Yep. So I don't know. I mean, he didn't do anything else with a top 5 quarterback of all time.
I mean, he went to the NFC Championship game numerous times. I mean, remember when the refs fucked him over, and then the Minnesota Miracle.
Yeah, no, that's true, but
yeah, it's stupidity on his defense, because you got to look at his offense and defensive rankings. His offense has been ranked top 10 since 2006, but his defense has been low 20s.
Yeah.
Which is sad. But hopefully that changes. You know, I'm excited as a Broncos fan. I think if anyone can fix Russell Wilson, who was in this head coach class, it's Sean Payton.
Which I think you guys are getting Joe Lombardi, though, which is a little scary. But
I will cry.
But he won't be play calling, so I don't think it'll matter that much.
And that's what I'm happy about. And do you know what? If we do get Joe Lombardi, I do see us going out there and getting a better receiving back than a guy named Chase Edmonds. Like someone who can actually catch the ball out of the backfield, who can use on screen plays when
Russ can. Joe Lombardi to get that. I think you guys would be getting that anyway.
Yeah.
Joe Lombardi did not invent Austin Eckler. Let's get that clear.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler has been doing this since 2017. But yeah, Panthers. I mean, good hire. Can't be mad at it.
No, I like Frank Reich. I really do. I mean, he used to play for the Panthers. He was actually their first ever draft pick.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny. And then he's going in there, and I think he's got a good slate on him. Like, we saw how Sam Darnold performed last year. He wasn't given a chance until the end of the year. And when he had that chance to perform, he went out there and he performed.
Especially in that division.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that division. But he also tore up the Broncos defense, which was like the top 5 at the time.
Yeah.
And then he also kept games close versus other good teams.
Right.
Granted, they didn't end up winning the division. It's whatever. I mean, it's the NFC South. But he still did pretty good. And I personally, every single mock draft that I've seen has the Panthers drafting a quarterback. I just can't see them doing that, especially with Matt Corral, who they haven't given a chance yet because he was hurt all last year. And you have Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Like I said, especially in that division, and the Bucs aren't going to be good next year.
Yep.
The door's wide open for that. It's going to be Saints versus Panthers, pretty much. I don't think the Falcons will, unless they get a decent quarterback. I don't think, which they might.
They're sticking with Desmond Ridder for another year.
That's true. Yep, I think it's a solid hire, and I'm going to say it with all bias. I do think the Chargers win. I think the best coaching move of the offseason. I think Kellen Moore is the most perfect, beautiful. Let's set this straight, Cowboys fans who are unintelligent, uninformed. Kellen Moore is not why you guys haven't won a Super Bowl. Jerry Jones is ridiculous to make him the scapegoat in this thing. He has had a top 5 offense. Every year he's been an offensive coordinator. He had the number 1 offense last year with Dak Prescott. And we have better weapons than the Cowboys. And he has, I forget what it was, but compared like Joe Lombardi's and Kellen Moore's like down the field ratings, like one was, I think Kellen Moore was like 8th and Lombardi was like 29th with Herbert. Like, that's insane. And now you're giving him Justin Herbert and Kellen Moore has always had an above average run game. Justin Herbert has not had a top 20 run game once in his career yet. And that's very important for a quarterback to be good.
Yeah, no, of course. And the one thing I look at it too is Dak hasn't, like, he's always been a good quarterback until this year. Like, he was good last year. He wasn't great. He wasn't great since the year that he broke his leg. Like, that's when he was a great quarterback. He could have won MVP that year. Year he comes back, he plays good. Year after that was this year. He did, He was definition of mid. Because he wasn't awful, but he wasn't good. He wasn't good enough to really do anything. But he wasn't bad. And when it came time for the playoffs, that's when he choked.
Well, that's my thing. Making Kellen Moore the scapegoat when the only reason this offense didn't succeed that much is because of all these turnovers, all these interceptions that are not play design. Like, if you watch the film, it's not the play design. And people want to point to the last play of the season for the Cowboys. You're not. What do you want them to do? You're on your own 25 with 5 seconds left.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah,
they weren't going to win anyway. Why are you blaming your season on that? How come you're not blaming Dak for his 2 picks in the second? The Cowboys should have won that game 100% against the Niners. Kellen Moore called a great game. There was 2 horrible picks, and I don't want to hear that. Oh, but almost none of the picks from Dak are his fault. Yes, most of them are. Yes, there's a couple tips in there. That's every quarterback, but almost all of them have. Dak did not play good. Kellen Moore made Cooper Rush look fantastic.
Exactly. And
now he's going to have Herbert and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. Like, I would be horrified if I'm the Chiefs. I'm just going to be honest. Offensively, at least. Obviously, on our defensive side, we're still going to be able to stop their offense. But for our offense, it's going to be good.
For the Chargers to get on that level, they need a drafted speedster at wide 100%. Receiver.
Well, that's what Kellen Moore just came out and said. He just said, I watched his media thing today. He said, I forget the exact words, but it was pretty much like speed kills.
Yeah.
Like, he was making sure, yes, we're going to make that that's important. And we don't have a dude that runs above a 4.7 on our offense besides our running backs. I mean, our receivers. They don't run above a 4.7. Not Mike Williams, not Keenan Allen. They don't.
Yeah, no. In my mock draft, I have them taking a wide receiver with their first. I'm not going to say who because it will be up this weekend. Right? It's the first way too fucking early mock draft with Cody, and that'll be up later. And yeah, we do have the Chargers taking a wide receiver, but we'll get to that.
Which if they get I'm telling you, if you can get a coach that lets Herbert be Herbert, spread the field, throw down the field with a running game that gets more than 2.1 yards a carry, look the fuck out.
Yeah. And honestly, look, I mean this the nicest way as possible. Running backs don't last long at all. Eckler's 27, 28?
Yeah, we need a running back. Well, he's not even. I wouldn't even consider him running back. He's straight up.
He's a wide receiver.
He's a receiving. I would count him more as a slot receiver than a running back. Dude can't run the ball up the middle. He just can't. All seasons he couldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
We need a big boy in there.
Yeah, I would personally trade Austin Eckler. Maybe get a second pick, maybe get a third, maybe get some picks, and go out there and going to go ahead and draft a running back.
They're not going to trade him though.
Which is stupid. Which is extremely stupid, just because how deep this running back class is.
Yeah, but he's too much of a locker room guy. I think it would fuck up a lot of the chemistry and shit. I don't know.
Well, when does his contract expire?
Like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, so you guys got him for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be a while. So I still think they should trade him, but
no, it makes sense. Like if you're looking at it like a Madden thing or like an on paper thing, I think it makes sense. But I think from what I understand, I think he's way too much of a locker room guy. That's like there's also people saying that there's brain dead Charger fans that saying we need to trade or cut Keenan Allen because of the cap that we could save. Absolute brain rot activity when he was on since he came back from his injury this season. He led the NFL in receptions and third down receptions. Like, stop. That's not even a conversation.
One of the most underrated route runners in the NFL.
100%. Especially now. I don't even see people putting him in like their top 15 like receivers, which is absurd. Like, yes, I get he was injured, but
most of these guys who are making these lists, I guarantee you know nothing about football, and it pains me to watch. It's like, how do you guys have these fucking guys in there? Your top 10 running backs and top 10 wide receivers. Like, right. It makes no sense. I don't know.
Honestly, I want the Chargers to just call Frank Gore, get him back for running up the...
Yeah. Well, his son's going to be in the draft.
That's true.
Frank Gore Jr., either this year or next year.
I think next year.
Either way, I mean, that would be kind of funny.
Yeah, well, that's coaching. Yeah, I mean, we got this. We'll hop into the more. We'll get into the Super Bowl really quick, but I mean, we'll hop in more into it next week. But man, I'm just really not that excited for it. I don't know why.
No, I'm just not. Super Bowl. I feel like Eagles kind of Mickey Mouse this way with the NFC Championship game. Granted, the season was a great season. The NFC Championship game was
They still earn it. Like, they still should be there. Like, they proved they're the best team.
I think they would have beaten the 49ers with Brock Purdy, but 100%. I think it would have been more of a fight, a closer game, and the 49ers could have won, but I still have the Eagles winning.
Right.
The Chiefs-Bengals game, I don't know. I like how now it's a rivalry, but...
Well, and the reffing crew is the reffing crew that called the most penalties this season per game. So
it's going to be boring.
It's going to be fun. Yeah, it's like the NFL didn't even listen to what people were saying.
And then we have Rihanna doing the halftime show. That's
what I'm most excited for.
I mean, even that I'm not excited for. When was the last time she made a song?
This past like 2 months ago.
Oh, was it?
For the Black Panther movie, yeah.
No, see, that shows you how much I listen.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So, Neil, it actually looks here with our quarterback tier list that we worked on.
At
the time. Yeah. So, do you just want to give me a rundown of your list and why you got them there?
Well, I didn't quite do my quarterback tier list in like a order per se. I just threw them in the rank. So this is kind of in no general order, but in I'll start D, whatever. D tier, I'll just name it off, rattle it off. I believe this is a Carson Wentz, Drew Lock, Sam Darnold, Zach Wilson, Matt. This is just this year, by the way. Like if you were to take the quarterback right now, Zach Wilson, Matt Ryan, Mills, Trubisky, Foles, Garoppolo, Mac Jones, Mariota. I don't know why any team would want those people. That's my opinion. C tier, Dak, Kirk. We didn't really see anything of Lance. I just threw him in. Fields, I think he's kind of. I don't think he's bad. I just think he's a little overrated. He could run the ball great, but he didn't show any promise in throwing. Then I got Russ, Jameis, Brissett, who I think could be a starter on a lot of teams still. And Goff, B tier, I had Tua, Baker, Stafford, Daniel Jones, Mahomes. Fight me. I don't care. Take away Andy Reid, and he's a bottom 10 quarterback. Kyler, Carr, Watson, Gino. A tier, Hurts, Burrow. I personally don't think Burrow's S tier. That's just my opinion. He's a great quarterback. I still have an A tier, but Brady, who RIP retired. T-Law in the A tier could probably be S after next season. And then S tier, I had Allen, Herbert, Rodgers, Lamar. I think those are the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL, kind of cemented. I think Hurts could be an S tier. I think I need one more good year from Hurts, though. He had a great year, but maybe just one more.
Yeah, because last year it wasn't all that.
Right, but it was like, that was his first year, right? Or it was like first starting fully?
I think so, yeah. It was his first starting year.
Yeah, so just one more good one, and I think he could be top 5.
No, for sure. I like what I see from Jalen Hurts. He reminds me a lot of the way that Lamar Jackson plays.
Right. I think he might have a little more of an arm, though.
I think what it is that we don't get to see Lamar Jackson's arm at all.
True, he has no receivers.
Yeah, no.
He never has had a really good receiver either.
Well, who was the last one they had? Marquise Brown. And he never got to throw it over deep to him because what's his face over there just hated throwing it deep.
Right.
No, it's kind of sad because, I think Lamar Jackson's going to end up being wasted talent, even though he won MVP.
Well, I think that's why he could leave, because he knows that. He knows that the Ravens aren't helping him. Like, they're just not. They're not getting people for him.
No, I mean, it would be smart if the Ravens, because, DeAndre Hopkins, he's going to be traded this offseason.
Right.
If I'm the Ravens, I'm doing whatever it takes to bring in DeAndre Hopkins. They're not asking for a lot. They're not asking for a first. Damn it. If they're asking for a second or a third, I'm going to throw it at them.
I don't know. I'm just having nightmares of Lamar Jackson in a Raiders uniform.
I just feel like
that
happens.
It scares me. Oh, Lamar and Devontae Adams, like, it makes sense for them. I don't know. I don't think he leaves Baltimore, but if he does, that's probably I think where he goes, though.
The Raiders would have to trade the house.
Well, no, Lamar would be a free agent. I mean, unless he stays on a franchise tag, I don't see that happening. He's not playing on it, so.
No, he's not playing on a franchise tag, but if they can't come to a contract agreement, they're going to franchise tag him and trade him because they're going to get value for him.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, but I'll just go over my list real quick. So, number 1, I made his own tier because he retired today.
Yep.
Greatest quarterback of all time. I grew up a Peyton Manning fan. Peyton was the greatest regular season quarterback of all time. Tom Brady was the greatest quarterback of all time, solely on what he did in the playoffs alone.
Yeah, he won Super Bowls. I mean, you can't deny that he won the most Super Bowls.
Yeah, he has 7, and then the next guy only has 4.
Right.
Yeah, but I have Brady at number 1. S tier, I got Mahomes. It's Mahomes and Burrow. I felt like if the Bengals won that game, it could have been switched where Burrow could have possibly be better than Mahomes. I don't know. I think the two of them can go back and forth. All depends. They're very, I wouldn't even say similar quarterbacks, but their weaknesses are kind of the same.
I just don't see a world where Burrow's better than Allen
at all. The reason why I have Allen like literally right below Burrow is his turnover problems. Between if it's picks or fumbles, he just can't hold on to the ball. And don't get me wrong, a lot of his interceptions are it hits wide receivers' hands. They don't pull it in, and someone else picks it off.
Yeah.
And then next I got Lamar, then Jalen Hurts again, basically the same quarterback. Then you got Justin Herbert, T. Law, Aaron Rodgers. That cleans out A tier. And then going on to B, I got Tua, Goff, Fields, Murray, DJ, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Geno Smith, and then Russ. Tua, I don't know if he's a good quarterback or it's the scheme that he's in. Goff's a scheme quarterback. You saw what he did with the Rams when they had a good scheme around him. Did the same thing here in Detroit. When we got Fields, I mean, he was incredible with his legs. I think he can be the next great mobile quarterback like Lamar or Jalen Hurts. Then Murray, it's just I don't know what.
Yeah, I don't even know yet.
Yeah. Daniel Jones, another scheme quarterback. Kirk Cousins, we don't know who we'd be without his great weapons. I mean, he had that one good year.
We do know who he is without his weapons. We saw it in Washington.
Yeah, but he won games and he got that contract.
He didn't deserve that contract. I'll just say it. I don't think he did at all.
I mean, he did better than the guy he was backupping.
No, fair.
Yeah, because he doesn't have an ACL anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, he wouldn't have.
Yeah. And then Geno Smith, I mean, shit. Did anyone expect him to have a year like this?
No.
Then you got Russ, who those final 3 games of the season after he fired back.
Yeah, better.
Dude, 350 yards per game and then over 3 touchdowns. Like, where were you? Asshole.
Yeah.
In C tier, I got Dak, Carr, Mac Jones, Watson, Brissett. I mean, they can go hand in hand. Watson was disappointing. Brissett played better than most. I think
Watson was just knocking some rust off, though. I think he'll be back to his top 5, top 6 status next year.
No, for sure. And I think Kevin Stefanski is going to work with him. And it's just a matter of what he hasn't played with in the last year and a half.
Something yes. Like I think almost 2 years.
Yeah. And then I have Trey Lance. He's shown peak of greatness, but we don't know what's going to happen. Ryan Tannehill, if you stayed healthy, Malik Willis wouldn't be fighting for that starting job. And I feel like he's going to be gone within the next year or so.
Oh, he will. 100%.
Yeah. Then I got Winston over here who just completely gets screwed over by the Saints every single year. Like, he's done so fucking good.
He's not bad, I don't think.
It's just
statistically, he doesn't look that good.
And it's not the reason why he fails, it would be he's getting attacked by the defensive line because his offense can't hold shit.
Right.
Like, once he had LASIK eye surgery, this man was going off, and then he tore his ACL.
Right.
And then he got back, and all of a sudden they benched him for Andy Dalton for no reason, whatsoever. No reason. And the Saints forgot they don't have their first round pick or something.
Yeah.
That's basically what it was. And then Matt Stafford, same thing. He was hurt last year. We'll see what happens from there. Then I got Sam Darnold because I like Sam Darnold. I really do. He did great at the end of the season. I think he could be a starter in this league, especially for the Panthers, especially with Frank right there. I think the Panthers can go in an opposite direction with that pick that they have or use as trade bait and get some weapons for Sam Darnold. Get him some protection. Do something.
Yeah.
And then I got Jimmy G. We don't know who he is. Is he a scheme quarterback? He's good sometimes. He's bad sometimes. He's more bipolar than a teenage girl. And then bottom tier, it's Matt Ryan, Baker Mayfield's
ridiculous in the bottom tier.
Dude, I don't know where to put him.
I think Baker Mayfield is fantastic. I think
with the right coach,
easily be a franchise quarterback. He saved the Browns. He is why they got to the playoffs that one year, 100%. And then you hurt his shoulder, and then they get mad at him because he had a broken shoulder, a broken throwing shoulder, and he wasn't good. Yes, he had a broken shoulder. That is correct. And then they trade him, and Carolina, we already know how that season went with Rule. He's just that was a bad scheme. He had no weapons. And then he goes to the Rams, and he was lighting it up. He was doing great.
He, again, destroyed one of the better defenses in the league. Was a top 5 Broncos defense.
With no Cooper Kupp.
On fucking Christmas. Thanks, asshole.
I think if Stafford just retires, if you have a spinal dude, you got your Super Bowl. Like, come on.
Yeah,
like,
you don't need an MVP. It's time.
Baker. I think the Rams found their I think you keep Baker. I think you got your guy. You don't need to waste a draft pick on one now. I think you got it. You saw what he could do. Like, just go with him. I think for this next season.
Yeah, especially now Sean McVay has time to work with him, especially if Stafford does retire.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my list. And then everyone who's not listed is garbage.
It's a bum.
Yeah. You should not play football anymore.
Yep.
Not even good enough to be a backup quarterback. That goes for you too, Carson Wentz. He used to love you, but now he hates you. But yeah, I mean, shit, what else can we talk about? I'm going to use this as a pause point.
Yeah, I don't even know what else really happened. I think that's kind of everything. I mean, the Super Bowl, I guess I will get to that next week. I mean, it'll be a decent matchup. I think the Eagles win, but that's obviously because I despise the Chiefs.
Literally. I think the Chiefs are going to win just because the white jersey curse, but we'll talk about that next week.
Eagles won, and their greens last time.
That is true.
Against the Patriots, who were in whites.
That is true.
But yeah, other than that, I think we hit about everything we wanted to. So I think we will wrap it up there. I believe we are doing baseball sometime this week, and then we'll hit back with a Super Bowl preview, probably a little bit more of a shorter episode, I'd imagine, since we had everything we needed to do here, unless some more breaking news happens. But yeah, thanks everybody for checking us out. Remember, if you want to follow us, hit us up on Spotify, YouTube, follow, subscribe, rating, 5-star. We're amazing. Love us. Yeah. Talk to you guys. See you next time.
All right, guys. Yeah, you guys take care, and make sure you follow us on TikTok too.
Yeah, that too.
All right, peace. And if you liked what you heard today and you want to know more about some NPCE content, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Spotify. Learn more about us. Other than that, guys, you guys take care.